Hi, I'm Scott with Michigan Pool News with Andy with Aquatic Source, and today we were going to talk a little bit about energy savings. And when we started talking about the types of pumps that are out there that are pumping and the ability to put variable frequency drives on them so you can start saving money, we got into kind of an issue in the shop about some of the things we're seeing. And I mean, I think that's normal, Andy, for an impeller.
This is the normal impeller, no wear, nice and clean. What happens is as the trap baskets or filters get dirty, you start causing problems with the pumps. Even though the pumps are still running with the same RPMs, causing the same energy use, the pumps start to get worn from cavitation, lack of flow through the pumps, valves close, causing excess vacuum on the pumps. And what happens as the vacuum increases or cavitation, it starts destroying the back of the impellers. It takes the same amount of energy to turn the pump, but yet you're not getting the flow rate, and your flow meters start going down.
So what do you think this one would have lost in flow? Was this one losing flow yet?
You would have lost probably about 25%, I'd say, of the flow rate. Even though your energy is still at 60 hertz and costing you the same to run it, your flow rate or your turnovers probably dropped 25%. It's also if it's destroying out the impellers and it's either water chemistry or air in the system, you're also taking out the copper in heaters also.
So what's a sign? What's an operator seeing happen in his pool? Obviously, the flow rate drops if his flow meter's accurate.
Yeah, the flow meter dropping, you start getting air in the system, and you can't see it coming from any place else. What's happening is the cavitation is pulling the air out of the water.
Is there any noises that are different?
The pitch of the motor will change, but yet it's not going to be, unless you're in there all the time, you wouldn't notice the difference.
So this one was probably more from cavitation, and this what's left of that thing?
This is the same impeller, and this is either cavitation and or water chemistry. And believe it or not, this was still pumping some water.
10%?
Yeah, they thought it was the whole motor. What it was just the impeller. And if it was pumping anything, it probably just barely registered on the flow meter. The pressure on the pump probably had started dropping, or on the filter system started dropping a long time before we pulled it apart.
Yeah, I can't believe that other parts of the system, heaters and so forth, would even fire with something like this.
Yeah, the heater was probably one of the first symptoms is the cold water.
Yeah. So these are all out of, I think, a Stay Right D-Series type pump.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, you know, in the 15s and 20s, the impellers get bigger, but the metal itself is pretty soft. Age, what do you think? Maybe hard to say.
It's hard to say, but I had one that was actually a year old and ended up about the same.
Wow, that fast.
Yep.
So below, attached to the site, there's an energy calculator, or not really a calculator, but a sheet up against how many kilowatts you're burning while these things are running. Whether yours is in this condition, or new, makes a lot of difference in how your system runs. So if you take a look at that, it actually tells a little bit about some of the savings you could acquire. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Thanks for viewing Michigan Pool News.